Well, this is one of the stranger Trump interviews I've ever reviewed with you all, in part because of in large part, because of who Trump's doing the interview with. And we will get to the content of it is also wild, with Trump still obsessing over Rachel Scott and the fact that at this National Association of Black Journalists event, she dared to ask him critical questions, and that's not how you treat Trump. And it's interesting because connecting to that, it seems that he's had to go and do a bunch of softball interviews since then to sort of recover his ego. And this is one of those where this live streamer, Aiden Ross, who literally said, I don't have the clip for you on this, but I heard it as it was on in the background while we were prepping a different segment. But he said, you're a hero and everyone loves you to Trump during this interview. So that gives you a sense of what we're getting into here. And if you're not familiar with Aiden Ross, the fact that Trump did an interview with him shocked a lot of people. I saw a lot of people on social media reacting in horror or just sort of confusion. I'm not that familiar with Aiden Ross, so I'm not the best person to explain why it's wild. But a lot of the stuff I guess he's done in the past, said in the past, is insane. He is this live streamer on a platform called Kick, but get this as we go through. A big part of his aesthetic in the first clip, he'll give Trump a Rolex watch, is sort of being rich. $200 million contract in the next 3 years to entertain people, presumably. But what's so unfortunate is that gives you a sense of the magnitude of the audience and the fact that hundreds of thousands of really young, impressionable viewers will be pushed in the direction of Trump's great because of Aiden Ross's bizarre advocacy for him, when clearly Aiden Ross knows so little about politics, and I have a context clip on that in a little bit. That's what's notable about this and unfortunate. But here's Trump trying to appeal to the youth with edgy streamer Aiden Ross, and it does include him getting a Rolex watch.
I want to present to you this gift right here. I hope you like watches, Rolexes.
Oh, that's a beautiful watch.
Yeah.
Should I open it?
You should open it and then show the camera.
That's a great watch, actually. Good company. They're good company.
You like Rolex?
They like Jack Nicklaus and Gary Player and Arnold Palmer and all the golf guys and all the other guys, too. I do. This is beautiful. Oh, thank you. Mm-hmm. Don't they have nice packaging?
They do. Really, really nice.
Okay, so you get the point there. You need to hold that in your mind because later Trump will criticize Kamala Harris, saying that she's not able to do critical interviews, as Trump is recounting the total collapse he suffered during the rare critical interview he did. And he's recounting that while he's sitting in an interview where he's being gifted a Rolex watch because the person doing the interview loves him so much. Starts the interview by saying you're a hero and everyone loves you, and also doesn't have the political experience, I'll say, to keep it not insulting, to even construct critical questions to Trump. And here's just, this is not to be mean, I'm just introducing, because many of you don't know who he is, Aiden Ross, to you guys.
What does a fascist mean?
So this is the journey of Aiden Ross at some point while he was live streaming, of his journey in finding out what fascist means, but he's calling it fascist.
What does a fascist mean?
It means you are a far right authorization ultra analyst.
So ultra nationalist is the word he's looking for. Some people would maybe he should have thought of this term when he sat down with Trump.
Political ideology movement characterized by dictator leadership, centralized autocracy, militarism, forcible suppression of opposition.
So in case you're listening to the podcast and you can't read what's actually on screen that he's trying to read, fascism is a far-right authoritarian ultranationalist political ideology and movement characterized by a dictatorial leader, centralized autocracy, militarism, forcible suppression of opposition. very different sentence I just read you than what he said, and then look at him figuring out who is fascist.
I don't know what that means, bro. I swear to God. I don't know what the fascism is. I don't know what the that is. Benito Mussolini and Giovanni
Benito Mussolini.
Gentile and Jason Stanley. Like, who the are these people, bro?
Yeah. God forbid you open up a history book. Okay, so with that being said, that's the context for who's Trump sitting down with, which gives you a little bit of insight into why this is so shocking to people that he would engage with someone who's then promoting Trump with, can we be honest? I'm not trying to be insulting. Aiden Ross makes a fantastic living doing things. Why he wades into politics when he should know about himself that maybe he doesn't know enough to decide if he should throw his support behind somebody. I don't know. That's my issue with him on this, at least. And I'm sure if I watch his stream, based on what people have told me, it would also be a lot of reprehensible stuff. But here is the first Rachel Scott related moment.
Yeah. Well, I did this as a favor, and this was the black journalists. The room had maybe 2,000. It said 2,000. It looked more like 1,000 to me, but whatever it was packed.
Yeah.
And I did it because I thought it was a good thing to do. And they had a journalist, I didn't know who she was, but she was nasty. She was a terrible person. And I walk in, and instead of saying, hello, thank you very much for doing this, they also said, Kamala's going to do it. But then Kamala said, she wants to do it because she can't talk to people. She can't answer questions. She hasn't done one interview. You know, she's not doing any interviews.
Yeah.
Because if she did one interview where a hard questions, she's incapable of answering it. But I walk in, and this woman starts talking about, she talked about, let's get rid of the elephant in the room. And she starts talking about racism and everything. I said, you didn't even say hello to me. And I'm doing them a favor by doing this. I'm doing this out of respect to the black community. And we're getting record numbers, as you know, in the black community. And she came across, she's with ABC Fake News, which is one of the worst. ABC is one of the worst.
Right.
And she is horrible. So she was very nasty.
Do you know what I mean about someone in Aiden Ross who has, when we were watching it was like 400,000 people were watching this live. Millions will see it. So he knows he has an audience. And he's going, yeah, ABC, fake news, that's right. Oh, yeah, that woman was so nasty. Totally. Say that in front of millions of people. Absolutely. It was totally justified for you to question the biracial identity of Kamala Harris because you wanted to. How do you not think, but people say Trump's authoritarian or showing fascistic tendencies, and I don't even know what those terms mean, so maybe I wouldn't know if I'm supportive of him or not, right? It's not bad to not know much about politics. I would encourage you to learn some, but you should know enough about yourself to know that you don't know enough about politics to then forward your hundreds of thousands of followers toward the belief that Trump is a reasonable candidate. Here's more.
It's okay, too. But, you have journalists today, like that one that intercepted me, literally. That was like a booby trap. I walk in, and she starts saying, we got to start a meeting. She didn't say, oh, thank you very much for being here.
No.
Just like the worst. And frankly, if I owned that network, I would fire her so fast. It was so inappropriate. And I actually, once you sort of walk out, then you put the guard up, and you actually give less information than what you would have. They did it with sugar, right? But she doesn't know about sugar, that one. That was sort of terrible. Became viral, number one viral.
Yeah.
And it was the question that was viral.
Mm-hmm.
I think my answers were sort of good.
They were really good.
I think they considered to be.
How, Aiden? I'd love to hear. Share with us. How were they good? They were brilliant, sir. I've never seen anyone like you. They say you're a fascist. I don't believe it. They say you're an natalist. I don't believe it. Okay. Your questions were brilliant.
Good.
They were really good.
I think they considered to be. I can't brag, but they were considered to be very good. But
by who?
But the level of hatred and craziness, and you don't know, is that from the head of the network?
The great answers that he's referring to are him saying Kamala Harris turned black. That's the great answer, okay? In the last 28 days, 100,000 people have subscribed to this channel, which is absolutely stunning. Thank you so much. If you haven't yet, please do click that subscribe button. You don't want to have FOMO, do you? I appreciate it. Back to the video. Then he pushes this ridiculous nonsense about Kamala Harris.
Almost like 8 years ago, I talked about Merry Christmas. We should have Merry Christmas again. Let's bring back Merry Christmas. You weren't allowed to say Merry Christmas. I got it back. Yeah.
It's a nice crowd, huh?
Even if you're Jewish, they like to say Merry Christmas. Every one of my Jewish friends say, we love Merry Christmas.
I'm Jewish. I love Merry
Good.
Christmas.
And
too.
you know, Kamala doesn't. Kamala,
She doesn't like it?
She doesn't want you to use Merry Christmas.
Wow.
She thinks it's insulting to use Merry Christmas. So we'll have to work on her.
This is Trump's dream interview. Sitting across from someone who starts the interview by gifting you a very expensive item, who couldn't possibly fact check what you're saying, and started the interview by saying, everyone loves you. Because when he says Kamala Harris doesn't think you should say Merry Christmas, if that were true, why is she always saying Merry Christmas around Christmas time? It doesn't make any sense. And also, the clip that even started that whole narrative, which was also a thing with Biden, but now they're really pushing it with Kamala Harris, because at some point in reference to Dreamers, I think it was, she was just saying, if we fail these children during Christmas time, how dare we say to them Merry Christmas if we fail them? It was just a rhetorical tool she used to express the seriousness of helping children in some context. But she doesn't have an anti-saying Merry Christmas stance. And also, if you're saying to a wider population of people, just generally merry this time, then you can also say Happy Holidays, or if Merry Christmas is the one you celebrate, go for it. Nobody cares. This is just... It's such an interesting narrative that gets pushed, the war on Christmas, because it's so isolated where the only people talking about that debate are within the MAGA echo chamber. And so then they invent a problem to solve where Trump says, I brought back Merry Christmas, which is such a strange thing to assert when it never left. And so to me, I guess politicians should just start Oh, you remember ice cream? You like ice cream, everyone? Okay. They took it away and I brought it back. So credit me for that. Did you know, Aiden, that Kamala Harris banned ice cream? Yeah, she did. And then I brought it back. So send that out to all your viewers. And then they played a little game where Xi Jinping was put up and different people, and Trump was supposed to say one word about each person that was shown.
Well, there's a powerful man. He's a powerful man. I know him very well. I know him probably better than anybody in this country knows him. And got to know him extremely well. We had a great relationship until COVID.
And all the things that we've heard from Trump on Xi Jinping. And a reminder I meant to address that Trump criticized Kamala Harris for not doing enough critical interviews. But the whole point of the NABJ, the reason that went so viral is because you imploded when you were in a critical interview. One of the most disastrous events a presidential candidate has ever experienced or caused. And so pretending like you did something so great by bombing on stage is a strange point to make for sure. So there it is. Again, a weirder interview. People were very shocked by the fact that this even took place. Why is Trump doing this? Would it make any difference? Are the type of viewers who watch Aiden Ross, number one, even old enough to vote, number two, politically engaged enough to care enough to vote if they were 18? And is this Trump just attempting to recover his ego after the NABJ disaster? You can answer all those questions in the comments. And if you want to get extra content daily, you can do so by clicking the join button below.